All right, so welcome back to my channel, Harris Financial Coaching. As you may know, I'm a financial coach, an accredited financial counselor, and I tend to get questions about finances from you all and also from my clients. So I wanted to debunk some of those myths. So I wanted to start a series on debunking financial myths. So let's go over some of the questions that you all have sent in and some of the ones that I get most commonly from my clients as well. So I hope these questions and answers ring true to you and answer some of those outstanding questions that you may have. So let's get into it. All right. So the first question that I always get is budgeting really necessary or can I just wing it? Now, budgeting is necessary. Some people say, well, I already know how much I bring in every single month or every single week, and I can manage this. I don't need to sit down with a budget every single week and balance my checkbook. Well, I'll tell you that you do need to budget. Budgeting your income helps you know how much money you have coming in and how much money you have going out on a regular basis. If you don't budget, you may think that you're spending one amount on, say, eating out on a monthly basis. But when you actually sit down and take a look at your budget and account for all of those expenses, you'll realize that you're spending even more, or you could be spending less on things that you are just winging it on, whether or not it's your utility bill, your cable bill, or just shopping. If you actually had a budget that you accounted for all of your finances, you'd realize how much you're actually spending and how much money you have available that you can use to save or invest and build your wealth for the future. So it is very important to set a budget for every single spending category that you have so that you can build your financial wealth and manage your finances a little bit better. Trust me, just winging it is not very helpful when it comes to maximizing your wealth. All right, so the next question I get is, do I need to invest in the stock market to be financially successful? Now, my answer to that is no, you don't have to invest in the stock market to be financially successful. You will, when you invest in the stock market, you will understand that you have higher returns, but there is also the chance that you could have financial losses as well. When you invest in other types of investments, such as a CD or a money market fund, you won't have those returns that you could receive if you were to invest in the stock market. But as I stated, you could be subject to losses if there is a sudden downturn in the market or if you don't take an educated approach to investing in the stock market. There's low risk, medium risk, and high risk investments. And if you invest in a high risk investment and it doesn't do well, you could lead yourself into financial ruin. So it is very important to talk to a financial planner or someone that you trust when it comes to investing in the stock market. There are other ways for you to be financially successful. The first one is to budget. Like I said, you can find ways that if you use a budget, that you have money that you can invest. Another way is investing in real estate. There are a lot of individuals who own lots of properties. But again, with that, you have to manage those properties and ensure that it's a property that will be profitable for you. And what does that look like when it comes to managing your other finances? Do you want to buy a property that's $100,000 and then you end up putting $50,000 into that property? What is the return on investment that you are going to get? You can also work to increase your income. If you are able to move to another job that provides you with an additional salary that you have coming into your house, you can find financial success that way as well. Now, with that, you want to look at the approach and weigh the pros and cons of moving from one job to another, but you can be financially successful in various ways, and the stock market is not the only one. All right, so next question is it okay to buy something on credit? Of course it is. I mean, I do want to say you want to manage your credit appropriately and responsibly, but you can buy things on credit. You don't always have to use your debit card, but you want to ensure you weigh the pros and cons of using credit. For example, say you're going to the grocery store. Do you want to use your credit card or do you want to use your debit card? When you use your debit card, you are paying for things that are expendable. For credit, if you use your credit card to pay for groceries, you want to ensure that you pay it off within that same month so that you aren't charged interest on groceries that are no longer there. That means if you spend $50 on your grocery bill and you carry that balance from month to month paying interest, you may end up spending more than $50 for those groceries and they're no longer there. If you buy furniture with your credit card and you do carry a balance from month to month, you still have that tangible item that's there that you're continuing to pay for. However, that interest could be high. So you want to evaluate your interest rate and determine whether or not if that's how you want to pay for that purchase. There are a lot of furniture stores that will offer you a 0% introductory offer when it comes to buying furniture. But again, you want to pay for that furniture. Make sure you pay it off before that introductory period expires. So again, yes, you can use your credit card to purchase things, but you just have to weigh the pros and cons and see, is there an interest rate and what is that interest rate? And would it be advantageous of you to use a credit card to pay for that purchase? Now, I do want to warn you that when you walk into a store and sometimes they say, hey, if you get this credit card, you can get 10% off of your purchase. Be wary of those because if you look at the interest rate, they're typically 24, 32% interest on codes that you probably spent $100 on, but you're going to end up spending more because of those insurmountable interest rates that they offer on those credit cards. So again, it's weighing the pros and cons of using your credit responsibly and determining how it's going to affect your credit score in the end. So, someone asked me, are there any legal ways to save money on my taxes that people don't normally talk about? Yes, there are. So, with my work in human resources, I recommend that people invest and also take advantage of the medical options that your employer provides and any other types of savings vehicles that they offer. So, you can reduce your taxable income by investing in your employer's 401k plan. Investing in the 401k plan can reduce your taxable income. So, for example, if you make $50,000 a year and you invest $5,000 into your employer's 401k plan, you can reduce your taxable rate that you have to pay when it comes to filing your taxes. You'll actually end up bringing in more take-home pay because you are investing in that pre-tax income and your tax rate is reduced. So again, just depending on what that percentage is that you invest, you could end up on top. The other way that you can reduce your taxable income is by investing in a flexible spending account or a dependent care account. If you have children, you may have to pay for dependent care. And if you put $5,000 a year away into your dependent care account, you still would have to pay the daycare, but you're reducing your pre-tax income and taking advantage of those rewards for having to pay for daycare. Again, it's something that you are going to have to pay anyway, so why not enroll in the dependent care account and reduce your taxable income? The flexible spending account is very similar, but you use it for healthcare expenses, glasses, getting your teeth cleaned, just various things like that for any type of medical expenses. You can even buy feminine products and skincare products as well. I did just find out that if you want to go get a facial, that also is eligible under some FSA rules. but it does have to be at a medical type spa. So lots of ways for you to legally reduce your taxable wages that you have coming into your household. You just have to invest in them and research to see which one is right for you and take advantage of it. All right, the next one is it okay to buy a car with a credit card? And I know this may seem really outrageous, but it is a question that I get often. Now, there are a lot of car dealerships who just flat out will not accept a credit card. So, it may not even be an option. But if you do end up going that route, you should be very aware that the interest rates on a credit card will be higher than a traditional loan. Typically, your interest rates on a credit card can range between 8% up to 32%. And you can get a loan from a bank or a financial institution between 6% and even 20%, depending on what your credit score is. So it may be advantageous to just try and get a traditional loan as instead of using your credit card to fund that car purchase. It also could have a negative impact on your credit score. As you may know, you should have at least a 30% credit utilization rate. And if you buy a $7,000 car and your credit availability is $10,000, then you are overextending yourselves and it could significantly reduce your credit score. So be very mindful of that if that's your only available credit that you have. It could end up putting you in a worse situation than you're already in. So, like I said, consider some other options, getting a traditional loan or waiting until you buy that car until you have more money that you can put as a down payment. You could also put a portion on your credit card instead of the full balance. Say you needed $1,000 and you can use that and finance the rest of it. That would be a better option than using your credit card as a means of paying for the car. All right, so the next question I get is renting better than purchasing a home? Now, when purchasing a home, there's a lot of things that you should consider. There's maintenance that you have to pay for of the home. That could be painting the home, that could be repairing the home, various things like that. There's also taxes that you have to pay on your home annually, and they can range between $500 to $7,000 up to $20,000 if you live up in New York. So taxes are really expensive when you purchase a home. There's also insurance. So you have to pay homeowners insurance, and that will be baked into your mortgage if you are getting a mortgage to purchase your home. And these are things that you have to pay that's included in the mortgage, where you don't have to pay these things if you rent a home. Now, the advantage of having a home is that your mortgage payment is set. Unless there's those slight fluctuations with your insurance or your property taxes, you have that set amount that you are going to pay for your home. So you can predict what you're paying from month to month or year to year with those slight variations. Your home is also an asset. No, it's not bringing in money, but it is a part of your net worth. So if you need credit in the future, your lenders know that you have collateral or assets that you can fall back on. Remember that car that we were just talking about? So that's some of that available collateral that you have when you have to make big purchases. Now, renting is a good option if you aren't set on, staying in one place, or if your job moves you periodically, you're not tied down by a house. Now, the disadvantage of this is that when you rent, your landlord could change your rent from year to year. And if you're in a month to month lease, it could change even more frequently. Your landlord could increase your rent from $1,000 to $1,500 within the next year. And if your income is not increasing, you may be unable to afford those significant rent increases. You also could have your lease terminated by your landlord as well, because again, you do not own that property. So it's up to your landlord on whether or not they want to continue your lease. And if you don't have another option, you could be stuck searching for a place to live, or even homeless or on someone's couch. So when you do have a home and the finances to pay for it, you have a set place to live. There are, again, like I said, advantages and disadvantages of each. So you just have to see, hey, what's the best option for me in my living situation and the future of my living situation and finances as well. Once you have a home, the mortgages are typically 15 and 30-year mortgages. And if you don't want to be set and stuck with that mortgage for that long, renting may be the best option for you. With all of these scenarios, you have to determine what's best for you financially now and in the future. Don't always think in the here and now when it comes to managing your finances and building your wealth. Well, those are the questions that I have for now. I hope you enjoyed and took something away from the answers that I provided. And I'll be back on the next episode to answer more questions and debunk more myths that I receive about finances. So if you have any other questions, drop them down in the chat and I'll answer them on the next video. If you need additional financial assistance, you can always reach out to me on my website at www.harriswealthcoach.com, or just Google Harris Financial Coaching, and you can find me on all social media at Harris Cash Coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family who may need financial assistance. Until next time, I'm Annette Harris from Harris Financial Coaching.